Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've got to acknowledge it. That's fine.
Yeah.
We've got to do something else.
Click on something. Okay. So I hope you all had fun with the new bundle and the frost shape and the spiral. And if any of you got any of your hats that you've made, then please feel free to show me, or bring them up, and I can click through. And everyone can want me to sort of spotlight myself. You can either do that or you can have it on gallery, but if I come in and spotlight myself, then I can show you things. Yeah, big face. Okay, just quickly, because we haven't got Hat Down Friday, so let's have a cheers. We've got water. Do Hat Down Friday here instead. And happy birthday to everybody. Just wanted to say that our new bundle that's coming up is on LinkedIn, and that's with Sharon Murray, and so she's an expert on LinkedIn. And I never used to think that much of LinkedIn. I thought it was all businessy, business to business, but now since COVID it's really taken off, and lots of people are selling expensive things to a lot of people, a lot of money on LinkedIn. So it's a really good place to be, and she's going to teach us all the tricks of that. So that's the new bundle that's coming up. That will come up in the next few days, and then we've got the Q&A for that on the 25th of August. And then also another announcement, the qualification area, you've all had an email, but just in case, that's going to be on the 13th of August. So most of you know that. So when we do that one, that Q&A, that'll be on the 13th of August. And okay, that's the my announcements. Has anybody got anything they want to say, or anyone's won any awards or anything exciting happened? Not yet.
Nope.
No.
Nothing exciting.
Oh, I'm sure it is. And we've got to see.
Somebody asked me to make.
Two people won and said
somebody asked me to make a Mad Hatter's hat, so I thought I would use the frost shape.
Ah, cool. Okay, to make a big top hat.
Here it is. Here it is.
Oh, can't see you.
Oh,
oh, I can spotlight you.
Oh, love
can't see it. It is. It is. It's frost shape.
Oh, have you gone? Just spotlighted you, no, disappeared.
I can see me.
I saw you just then. Is your
See
camera
it?
on?
No.
Is your camera all right?
No. Maybe I have.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, it's probably dodgy internet.
sorry, we saw it for a split second there, but well done. That's good. It's an easy thing to use, isn't it? So much easier than, well, it's quicker anyway than Cinema, just to sort of stretch it over and do things with it. And I love using the steamer with it as well.
I really liked it. I'd always wanted to try it, and I really liked it. Now mine aren't finished, but this is the one I'm working on.
Oh,
so I know I always go to thrift stores and buy like fancy dresses, and so it just happened to be the right shape for that one.
nice.
So I'm stitching that on right now, but I really like using it. I'm kind of going to use more. It's expensive. It was like $36 a yard, but I think because I use a lot of leather, I think this will be better under the leather than doing the felt hoods and then stitching them. And it'll actually come out cheaper because it was very easy to do. Your instructions were great, so it was easy to do. So I'm very happy with it.
Okay. Sorry.
That was me, Catherine. I was I had a go with the frost shape, but I wasn't really happy with it to start with. And then I noticed my heat gun. I don't know if I should have used it, but it's gone really nice and hard and firm. And because some of the edges, even though I kept repeating it, it was really soft around the edges. So I put the heat gun on it, and it's gone quite hard. Although because I was concentrating more on the stripes, the cinema, this is sort of like a last minute thing. I've just used the gun today. Basically, I haven't really watched the videos properly. So
Okay.
yeah. So
So it really worked that. So yeah, it's good. Go around the side. I'm just going to put everybody on mute a sec.
Yeah.
So we've got a bit of noise going on here. And if you could unmute yourself if you want to speak.
I'd like to just say something about the fuzz shape. I haven't used it yet, but just following on from what she just said about using a heat gun, I know that's how they use it for cosplay.
Oh, is
So
it?
when they're making other shapes with it, they definitely use heat guns rather than steamers.
Okay.
So that
I did
makes
try.
sense.
I tried
No.
with the steamer to start with.
I haven't had a go yet, so
Yeah, I started with the steam, but it worked to a certain degree, but it was around the edges. I just couldn't do it, even though I was repeating it. And then I was looking for something else today, and this went hello. So I thought I'd give it a go. And I'm not 100% sure. I may have overheated it, but
yeah, you
it's
can
got
make
a
it thin apparently. If you overheat it, you can make little holes.
yeah, there are some little holes in there, but I think if I cover that with a thicker nice material, I think that I could probably get away with it on this one. But I bought some of this. It was a sample, a trial size piece. I put it in the Facebook group, and it was £10 for trial size.
Oh wow,
which was quite a big piece. I think I could get 3, possibly 4 buttons out of it.
Well, that's amazing. That's like half a meter then.
Yes, yeah, I was really impressed when it arrived.
About 300 or 600?
It was a 600.
That's good. And that's what you've used here. You've used a 600, but it was still a bit thin around the edges.
It was soft. I don't think I could have steamed it properly, but I kept going over it.
Yeah.
And in the end, I thought, oh, I can't be bothered with that now.
Just more heat, more heat.
Yeah, but this is really last minute this evening, about an hour before we joined, I found the heat gun and I thought, oh, I'll give it a quick go.
Yeah.
But as I said, I've been working on my stripes, which you have seen on the Facebook page.
Yeah,
and I'm
brilliant.
Really with it. So
Well done on that. I love the colour. I mean, black and white is really striking anyway. It's sort of thing you could put in a gallery, and then putting it with the red. But the fact that your sizes, you've got like 3 strips and then 2 strips, and the way you've separated them out and put those together, I think that's really good. So you haven't just, I mean, you could just do 2 strips, 1 black, 2 strips, 1 black. You could just keep it like that, but you've changed it up.
I have.
It looks really good.
Yeah,
really nice.
and I have named it Chocks Away because I thought it looked like a propeller.
It's in the back there, isn't it?
It is. Can you see it?
Yeah.
It's up on my display. So yeah, it's safe up on there.
So if you want to make another one and you want it more, you could just shorten it a little bit and then just add more to the sides, and then you can sort of start bringing it down closer together.
Yeah. No, but I really enjoyed doing it. The cinema one. So thank you. Was
it like different? Have you made anything like that before with that technique, using those strips?
No, I've done bias binding. So using the strips for bias binding. So I sort of got that. Although the white, I think I'd got a better quality black cinema, and it was really hard to pull. I couldn't pull it when it was dry. So I what did I do? I think I sprayed some water on it, not much, but it just softened it enough so I could stretch it, because I was pulling with all my might and it just wasn't going. So I think it was obviously a very good quality cinema that I was trying to use, and it just wasn't. I didn't have the strength, but with a little bit of water it softened it up, and then I got all the same width, because that's something else that I had to think about. Some of them, the white was easier to use, I suppose, but once it had dried off, it was lovely.
Yeah, because of white, if it's more supple, then when you pull it, it's going to end up being thinner than the black, so you can't pull it back too much. You can pull it back again. Yeah, that's true. Something to think about. Well, thanks, Hayley. Thanks for working so hard on it. Yeah, no, do you know what? It was hard, but really enjoyable. If that makes sense. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to have another go with something else. Okay, fab. And I'm trying to get in another expert to go over things like the FOSS shape, but the other ones as well, the other thermoplastics soon. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll happen. And so she can come in and then talk about all sorts of different ones. not just that one. Thank you. Okay, we've got a couple of questions, I think, in the chat box. Let's have a look here. Oh, Anna's here. Hi, Anna. Annamika, hi, all joining after all. Brilliant. Hi. Carolina, thank you. We got 600. If you have any questions and you don't want to come on live, feel free to put them in here. Where can we buy sample FOSS shape? Oh, Hayley, where did you get that sample piece from? Oh, you put it in the group, didn't you?
Put it in the group. I will just have a quick look again.
I don't think Parkin do it. I don't think Parkin was like 20 odd pounds for the 300 and maybe 32 for the 600. Where
It was
can
an unusual shop. It wasn't a millinery supplier.
It is hard to get hold of, isn't it, really? Because there's lots of places in Australia that sell it. And then we've got a question here about the USA. You can get, I think Parkin would easily send it over to you as well. That Judith M Millinery, not sure if they would have it, but if you can order from Australia, then they have loads of companies.
Hats by Leto. I don't know. Melda knows how to say it. She's in Oregon.
Lako, yeah, she has it.
Okay,
She has it.
great.
Judith M, I didn't see it listed on her website, so I don't think
I haven't either. But there are several places that are not millinery that carry it. And I think someone posted in the chat the other place.
Yeah, I just put in
In the
Wonderflex.
US where you get it. And that's where I got it from when I used to, yeah, Wonderflex. That's where when I used to teach it with my students, that's where I got it from, because I used it in the theater world.
Ah, of course. Yeah, you use it all these unusual fabrics.
Yeah, we use a lot of FOSS shape.
Hmm.
Yeah, we use a lot of FOSS shape. And we used steamers, handheld steamers, but we used, to finalize it, we used a heat gun, but you have to be careful. But you get it really hard. So Catherine, you were talking about it was still damp. That means it's not done curing yet. I mean, you needed more steam and heat on it, because it should never have to dry like that. You should be able to just use the heat and it should be dry. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so it should never be soft anywhere. It should be hard.
So the heat gun is better.
Well, you have to be really careful with the heat gun. Really, you can use the handheld steamers. Yours has got really a
We lost you there.
wide opening on it. The one that we use a lot and is like, it's the one that we use a lot is like $15 in America. You get it on Amazon also, but it's got a smaller base on it and it has a metal base. So it really, it heats up with the metal base.
Yeah, so we get really, really hot.
Yeah, it gets hot,
Good then.
but not as hot as the heat gun.
So it gets really in. Sorry.
Yeah, the heat gun will make holes. You have to be
yeah.
careful.
Yeah. Thank you, Mela.
Just to chip in, the company that I got that a trial sheet, and it was 50 centimeters by 57 centimeters, and it was £10 plus postage and packing, and it was a company called Preservation Equipment.
Jan's put that in here.
Yeah,
that's good. So anybody wants that, the link is in here, the chat box. Thank you, Hayley.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so the only other thing, the reason why I said about the damp cloth and undry iron, you wouldn't normally do that, but if somebody can't afford a heat gun or they can't afford a steamer, then I just wanted to give you another way of doing it without any of that, because maybe you haven't bought any of that or you don't want to do that yet. So, you know, it's not as good because it does make it a bit damp, but using a wet cloth and an iron, I mean, it works, but it won't make it as hard as if you could use a steamer with it. But you found Nelly found that damp cloth and iron worked really well on the FOSS shape, better than the hairdryer and steamer. That's interesting.
Do you think the different thicknesses work better with a particular heat method, or would it all be the same?
It should all be the same. But I just found the 300 was really quite soft with the steamer or with the iron. It just wasn't really strong enough. But the 600 much better.
I can get the 300 hard as a rock.
Probably because you use your heat gun.
I get the 300 hard as a rock.
Because you use the heat gun. Maybe that's why. But and then if you've got better steamer. Okay. Right, so that's it. Question. Okay, has anybody else got a hat that they want to show us?
Can I just ask a question about how to stiffen unstiffened bias? Look, I want to show you something, right? This is a bias strip that I've cut, and it's really wibbly.
Uh-huh.
So I cut a whole load of these yesterday, and I wasn't sure whether I should make the hat up and then stiffen them, or stiffen overnight and then use them. So someone, I think it was Yvonne, said stiffen, and look at the difference.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'll just share that with everyone, because this is quite a specialist cinema. It's got a bit, it's actually the same as is on this hat. I don't know if you can see it. It's got a kind of purple metallic interwoven with the aqua. It's really nice, but it's so soft. And I've been really racking my brains as to what to do with it, but I was staggered when this happened today.
I would. Did you steam it all? So you got the meter and you steamed the whole meter?
No, I was given this.
Yeah.
So I don't know where this came from. And I was given it, and I'm just using it up for experimenting with. But I was also given this at the same time, and it tones with it. And that's normal cinema. It's a normal thickness and behaves.
You want unstiffened then?
Perfectly all right. But the other one must be unstiffened because it's got a special finish on. But what a difference.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't made mine up, because I've had to do an extra stage.
Oh God, what a nightmare. Sometimes if you get it off eBay, then you can end up with unstiffened, because it could just.
Well, I think that's possibly what it was, but.
Yeah, always checking it. But if you go to any millinery supplies, it should always be stiffened.
Yeah, but I was given it. I wasn't going to say no.
That's good. Yeah.
So I didn't know which way around you're supposed to do it, though. If you do end up in that situation, should you stiffen it as a flat sheet?
I would, yeah.
And then use, well, that depends on drying space, though, of course.
True, yeah. But I would do that, because then you're doing it all in one go. It's much quicker for you. Then you can leave it and then cut it all up. Otherwise, if you cut it all up, I suppose, and you get it into the right shape with the right size, and then you put it on, fine. But if you put it on and then you're trying to manipulate it a bit, it's going to be a bit stiff then. So I would just do it quicker as well, to do it all in one go.
I'll know for next time. Thank you.
And just always make sure, because I know some students, they've come to me if I'm doing a day class, like I used to do it in colleges and things, and they would bring all their cinema, and then sometimes they'd be unstiffened, but they wouldn't have known that. So yeah, just everybody make sure it is stiffened.
It seems to be the specialist ones, the metallic ones that I've got. So I've had 2 or 3 from kind of bizarre sources.
Yeah,
they're the ones that aren't stiffened.
Yeah, true. So yeah, just do it all in one go.
Brilliant. I'll do that next time. Thank you, Catherine.
Catherine, I have a question for you. I want to know, how do you get your foil smooth on the top? I had the worst time. Now, granted, it doesn't matter because I'm going to line it, that it's crinkly inside. But I could not get my foil to go smooth on the top of my blocks. And I was wondering if anybody else had that problem.
Just laying it on, and then as yours bigger than mine, you're using quite a big block. Well, actually, that shouldn't make a difference, should it? Because smaller, you get more creases.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, does anybody else have that problem?
That's what mine looked like. It's a little bit crinkly, but I think where I was pushing down, where I just kept pushing it like this, but it's slightly bumpy. It's not sort of like silky smooth, like that bit there's quite silky smooth, but that is a little bit bumpy. But I'm still, the inside of my one there seems to be okay-ish.
Well, I figured I'm lining it, but I just thought, well, you made it look so easy to just put it smooth on the block, and
it wasn't completely smooth around the sides. So I think, I just pushed it. So maybe it looked like it was completely smooth around the sides, but it might not have been. So, but it was smooth on the top. So yeah, just having it non-crease, lay it on the top, gently push it all out from the middle, and then round, and then smooth it all with your thumb. Just try your best. Okay, we got any other questions?
I've got one. Hello, Catherine.
Oh, hi.
I've got one. One of our ladies, I think it was Jo, but I might be wrong, had a problem with her cinema that she was given, and it made her hands very sore. And I didn't know whether it was the coating on the cinema. I mean, is Jo with us today?
Yeah, it was me.
It was you.
And I've got dry skin.
Oh, right.
So I think what it was, I've got the hat here that I'm just unblocking, and you know when you just catch the edges.
Oh
down
yeah,
your
I get
hand?
that.
And I
Mm.
think it was that, but yeah, it was just so remarkable. I looked at my hands and went, this is ridiculous. I put a picture up because I knew you'd all get it. But
Oh,
I've put 3 or 4 lots of hand cream on, and I have got sensitive skin as well. So it wasn't the allergy that I think somebody suggested.
it was
wasn't a
me.
reaction. It was just the mechanical cutting of the horrible cinema ends.
Oh dear. I'm glad you're all right though.
I'm fine, thank you.
It does here, doesn't it? I always get rashes down here. Sometimes little scratches and sometimes little bubbles, as if they're rashes. But yeah, I think it's just where it's touching.
Yeah.
But I used to think that all my allergic when I first was using it. A bit weird. But also you've got to be careful of your clothes, isn't it? The tiniest bits just catch your clothes and you know, pull it and make holes in it.
And we don't talk about what happens when you put hat pins down your nails.
Oh no. Do you ever get sort of really, really sore fingers on the end here? They
Yes.
crack and then all my needles are go in there and
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
I'm surprised you don't use pliers when you're pulling your needles, because
do.
I use pliers when I'm sewing, like even to tie a knot, sort of like a surgical thing to get the thread. And for some of those, I noticed people weren't using pliers, but I know you have super strong fingers, but some of us don't. But I do recommend everybody keeping a pair of pliers.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I use that if it's really tough, and then I just need to yank it out if it's felt or yeah, something like this.
The thing I was shown the other day was to use one of these, which I don't know if you can see it against my hand there.
Mhm.
It's a tack remover for getting the pins out. So it just, instead of breaking your nails when you're trying to get all the hat pins out, the blocking pins out, this does it really fast.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And it's brilliant. And it's the size of a screwdriver.
Where'd you get those from then? Just handy stores?
You know, I haven't got a clue. I think I might have got that off my dad about 30 years ago when I was doing some upholstery.
Oh, that's brilliant.
But I mean, it's got the word equip on it. But it's a tack remover. So DIY shop, I would think, would have them. Don't know. But I thought that was a great tip.
Thank you. And we should wear thimbles as well. That's the other tip. But I can never sew with thimbles on my fingers. Some people are just really good at it, you know, used to it, and it's all fine. But I tend to put a thimble on my finger if I'm doing something and I'm really trying to push it in, and then I'll take it off again and then I'll put it on again. But I know if you're really good, some people are really good sewers and they can just keep them on.
Right, 2 things. Tack removers on Amazon, £4.59. On Tool Station, £3.29.
Oh.
Would be useful. I stabbed myself in making my hat. I stabbed myself 10 times with the needle, and I had a thimble on, but I was using the thimble to sort of push the needle through, but I was jabbing my finger the other end. And they felt bruised. You know, I was getting to the stage, it was like, oh, not again. And then I couldn't carry on because I had especially with the white I was using, I didn't want blood going all over the white cinema, and it wasn't just a tiny prick, there was quite a lot of blood.
Yeah. Oh no.
So, but I think that's an occupational hazard, isn't it?
Yeah, you're a milliner then, aren't you? When you
yeah, definitely.
Blood on silk with doing it, that your own spit will remove
right. Yeah.
So that will work on if you get blood on silk from pricking your finger. But
so I always sew with white cotton thread in my mouth, a wad of white cotton, not polyester thread, but white. This is what I was taught years ago. White cotton thread in my mouth. And so when you prick yourself, it's gross, but you take it out and you just dab it. It will pull it up immediately, and then you throw it away.
I end up swallowing it.
Yeah, that's what they used to use before DNA stuff to match blood to, because only your spit will do that to your blood.
Wow, that's interesting. That's a good idea. Yeah, so you keep
so bridal people usually sew with white cotton thread in their mouth.
Interesting. Thank you. Another tip here as well from Rebecca. Another one. When you're make sure you hang, go back to the cinema, make sure when you hang the cinema up to dry, well, after you've stiffened it, otherwise you might get it clogging up. That's a good point. Oh, and someone says here for the metal, putting foil over, you can use an old credit card to smooth it. Jeannie, that's a good idea. And Rebecca again, what needle did you use, Catherine, for tacking the cinema? Was it a darn needle or a thick millinery needle? It was just a sewing needle, so it wasn't a millinery needle, just a normal sewing needle, but it wasn't like a very thin one. Okay. Okay. Anybody else got one of these finished that they'd like to show us? Bonnie, how did you do?
I've got my strips.
Okay. Getting there.
That's as far as I've got, Catherine. Yeah, but I've ironed them all individually because I get so annoyed when things aren't exactly right, if you see what I mean. So I thought if I'm trying to layer them all on and they're not ironed, I'd get really frustrated. So they're all pressed individually at the moment, but then I can stack them quite easily on top of each other and then iron them again or whatever. Yeah. I just thought
if you're like that and you want it to be exact, don't try and be exact when you're sort of putting them all together, because I know we want them all to be exactly the same size and everything, but sometimes you might get one a little bit over from the other and then they do come unstuck as well.
Right.
Here, so when you've finished, you will have this space unless you sew it all together in the middle. But you know, you don't get frustrated if these aren't all absolutely exactly, and you just try and do it as much as you can.
Okay, but it's all right if you do get little gaps.
Well, once you've sewed it in the middle, I think that's a good thing, and then you shouldn't have like gaps like this. They should be over each other.
Okay.
It's just come unstuck a bit now, but they will sort of separate, and they don't have to be, you know, like let's say 3 millimeters to 3 to 3 to 3 to exactly. So because it'll just drive you mad, and you'll because you want to just better twist it. And,
exactly.
Yeah, that's really good.
I did have a go with
oh yes, I saw that one.
Yes, which sort of based on yours, I think.
Yeah, I'm loving this feather that you've used here.
There were three peacock feathers. I sprayed it gold, and I sprayed the fuzz shaped gold like you did, and then I put the beaded material over, and then I attached the feathers there. And then I just used my curling iron to do that little bit. And then I just pulled the feathers round, and they were nice and pliable. And then just sewed them each one down.
Yeah, I like that. It's quite sort of, you've got a vintage feel to it, but that feather looks quite futuristic as well.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, there we go. So I'm having fun. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to share?
I have got something else to say because I've just remembered when you stitch in the wire in along the end, so you put your cotton in along the sprayed cinema strips, so you've tacked them in to hold them down along. Oh, I'm trying to show it on your one. So they're your strips, and you've tacked them at this sort of level.
Yeah.
And then you need to put the wire along the top.
Yeah.
I bent all the wire and I was stitching it all on in the blanket stitch and everything, and I was happy. But when I got to the end, the bent piece of wire was actually quite near the end of the very last strip, cinema strip, and I thought it'd be okay. But when I was sewing on the bias cinema strip, the bias piece, the wire, the bent bit was poking out the end, and I'd stitched it all on and at that end. So I stitched it and I thought, can I get away with it? And it was like, no. So I unpicked it and re-stitched the wire onto the ends to make it firmer, because they still moved, even though I was doing small blanket stitches along there. It was it just moved. There was movement So that was something that I wanted to highlight to everybody. Just make sure it is secure, otherwise you'll end up with a bit of wire poking out the end.
But you bent it over, didn't you? Did you bend it over
I did.
a centimetre?
Yes, yeah.
That should be all right. And then you squish it together. And then I suppose, with mine, it's here and I have sewn it to this piece.
Yep.
So because it's just sort of just inside the top, isn't it? So you're going along, but that bit, 'cause it's going to be wider, you can sew that to this completely, because then you're going to cover it anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, that was just something that I came across and it was very frustrating, so I unpicked.
Oh, you poor thing.
No, it's a learning curve though, isn't it? And if I can help somebody else, I just let them know
really
how
annoying. I've had that over time, when you think a hat is okay and you've had it for 6 months and it was a design piece that you're not selling, and you keep it and then you look at it again and it's working its way out. Because sometimes the cinema you've got to make sure that it's good cinema. You don't want this to become loose and it sort of work its way out. So you make sure you sew it down well. Yeah, thank you. I've got another question. Jan says it's beautiful, Yvonne, Bonnie.
Oh, thank you, Jan.
Mary says I haven't started the abstract bow yet. Love the gold boss shape, Yvonne. I'm so impressed with you all. I still haven't finished the abstract bow. I think you need the hair of the dog, says Nelly. And then Noma says, had a great time with the strips and I'm happy with the outcome. Looking forward to trying the fuss shape. Brilliant. Rebecca, you can always bind it with thread and pop a bit of yoo-hoo on the end.
Yeah, I've done that on a technique before.
Yes, I don't like using glue, but if you just want to secure the cotton coming off of your metal, then you could do that a little bit. But I wouldn't necessarily put too glue on it because it might come through. I suppose you're going to let it dry. Best to sew. Okay. Anyone else?
Can I share something that's not for what you did? Because this is why I was busy this month. I'm delivering 2 hats to Cirque, and so
Focus Soleil?
Yes. This one.
Oh, I love that. It's like the Stephen Jones one. It goes right.
Yeah, little tiny topper, and then we put horsehair along here for them for the bobby pins. There's elastic. There's loops for a headband. There's loops for bobby pins, and then there is horsehair all around it for the hairpins also to go into the wig. And then using your tall thing, they wanted just a bowler, and I said, what about a really tall bowler? Can we so we did this really tall bowler for one of the guys.
They're so on trend, aren't they? I've seen loads of famous people wearing tall ones.
Yeah, so I'm delivering these in on Thursday to them.
Fab, thank you.
Yeah.
You are just got so many hats and so much knowledge for so many years.
You know what? But it's different type of knowledge. That's why I love your bundles, because there's always something new to learn. There's always something I've never dealt with, like your strip thing. I would never have done anything like that. My knowledge is pretty much in either traditional or theatrical. It's not in modern. So that's why I love it. And so we all can learn from each other.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Mella. Okay. Anyone else like to show their hat? Don't be shy. I can't wait to see them all.
Afraid I've only just got to the strip phase.
Okay. You haven't done full shape yet?
No, I haven't even finished. Like, I've just cut my strips and I've sewn them in the middle and splayed them out. But I did what I always do and spent about 3 hours gazing in the mirror trying to what was my design? And then I was like, no, okay, I'll look at it again tomorrow. So I haven't got very far.
That's all right. You've
been enjoying it anyway. Thank you.
Good. Thanks. The thing is with this hat, I suppose you have to figure out your design quite early on. Not necessarily the cutting, but where you're going to put your strips. Because you can think, oh, that could be all right. And then you put it all together and you think, oh, I wish I had another one now. It's a bit over here, so you have to add more in and things. So think about it, maybe draw it beforehand.
So that's why I've spent quite a lot of time. Yeah, it feels like I haven't got very far, but I think, sorry, the kitten.
Bigger.
Oh,
He's massive. It is little Griffin.
Oh,
Hi, everyone.
look.
Yeah, he looks cute, but when he's playful, he like I'm still my hands. You can't see it on the camera, but oh my goodness. You think Cinema cut hands is bad? Try doing Cinema cuts on top of kitten scratches. I forgot how scratchy kittens are when they're that little.
Yeah. Oh, my cat was like, it was like needles, isn't it? It's very
Yeah, and their teeth.
Yeah.
He's only playing. I play with him a lot, like to try and avoid him attacking my hands, but every now and again he still gets me. And my legs, he tries to climb up my legs to like get to me if I'm stood up. So I've got like shredded legs. Like, oh God.
Oh.
But bless him, he's doing well.
You have other cats as well, you do, don't you?
I do. 2 others, yeah.
They're not very
So
happy.
I'm officially the crazy cat lady now with 3 again.
Oh.
I want another
It's
one.
okay. I'm the crazy dog lady.
Are you? How many dogs do you have?
2. There's one.
Oh, hang on, I can't see it.
Not seeing.
Where are you?
Can you not see?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is that a Dalmatian?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the
sweet.
princess. And that's my little man.
Oh, sweet.
We are just all animals. Crazy, aren't we?
Yes. They also are to blame for when I don't actually get a lot done, because they don't like me doing anything that when I eventually get home, they don't like me doing anything other than spending time with them.
Oh.
You get jealous.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like my Richie, going mad now.
Oh.
Cute. I've got a couple of things in the chat box. Can we see the inside of Yvonne's gold wedding headpiece?
Oh. Ah.
Sorry, bring back to you.
There tells a tale. Hang on.
And Rebecca says the hats look lovely. And Joe says, love the circus hat smeller. Annamika, haven't done anything yet. Couldn't take it with me on vacation. Oh, you're on vacation? Yes. Hope you're having a lovely time. Carolyn says, poor you, Fleur. Can you all see that? Noma said hats look great. Thanks, Noma.
Oh.
You back, Bonnie?
Well, I haven't. I've got a confession because I haven't actually finished the inside of it. But I've got that sort of
fabric
lining to go in. So I think
you can put like our deep lining with the, that bunch in the middle with it splayed
exactly
out.
That's right. It's so beautiful when it's done, isn't it? Yes. So that's to go in the inside the.
That'd be nice. I'm sure you'll sell that quickly.
Oh, I don't know.
It's
Nothing
easy to
seems
sew
to sell.
through. Is it easy to sew through the FOSS shape?
Yes.
I haven't tried that yet.
Yes.
Depends how hard it is.
I found, I didn't have any trouble getting through.
Yes, but if you start using a heat gun that I haven't confessed used, I just use the steamer. So Melanie know is it really hard, the harder it is to do it. So, but I found with the steamer 600, I could get a needle through it. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I use this is the steamer I used on my FOSS shape.
Yeah.
And because of the flat plate.
That's the one I use.
You can really push down and get the FOSS shape really nice and hard, and then you can sort of run it round the sides.
Where did you get your steam gun from?
I got that on Amazon, Hayley.
Was it okay?
It wasn't very expensive. It's God, is it?
Wait.
Oh, I can't see what it's called.
Yeah, that's the one I used, and it was about 15 American dollars.
Yeah, something like that.
Then that's good.
Mela, yeah, but it's really good for little things. Yeah.
I tried a few. I've done a few shapes. I got some birthday blocks today.
Oh.
This one.
Oh my God, that's really good.
but they're still on the
Happy
blocks
birthday,
at the
Nelly.
moment. But I found that I tried the steamer. I've got a steamer like yours, Bonnie, and
Yeah.
I've got loads that I've chucked in the bin, because if they don't set properly, if you don't get them really hard, and they're still floppy, and you try and get them off the block, then it totally trashes the shape. You've ruined it completely. So you can't flex it like you can with felt or anything like that. You have to be very careful with it once it's done. And if it's a bit squishy, then the needle goes through fine. But if it's gone really hard, you've got to push it through a bit. But they're still on the block. I'm too scared to take them off.
It's a really nice.
I'll probably cut round the edge like Catherine did on the thing. Then, like with my top hat, I found that was brilliant. I used an ice bucket, and you need something to block it on. Otherwise, it just goes. It shrinks so much that you have to be really careful that you haven't shrunk it so much that you can't use it, and it's gone somewhere that a tiny little piece. But if you've got something to block it on, it shrinks to that and molds completely to that shape. I think it's fabulous. But yeah, just be careful once it's off that you don't bend it too much, and then it's not usable then. But it's great fun to work with, and I think if you're doing futuristic shapes and buttons are lovely. I love buttons, they're so easy. So it's great. It has its uses.
Thank you.
Be off there now.
Love it. I've got a white fluff running across my face now. Did you see him? Okay. Anybody else would like to show theirs?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Hello.
Okay,
it's not quite finished. I started playing with it yesterday. I was trying to decide the colors yesterday, but I worked on it overnight. This morning I was busy twisting and fiddling with it the better part of the morning, so I just tapped it on. I'm gonna finish it off and do the lining on the inside later. But this is a great bundle. I had so much fun with it.
Oh, good. I love it. You've really twisted it. I've never done it like that. Really twisting. Thank you. Oh, you've gone. Signal. I remember, was it Noma who put up the colours? You're back. You were putting up the colours saying which one should I use, the mink or the orange? And then I said today, but it was probably too late to say, don't use so much orange, use more mink. So I really love that. Thank you for sharing. Okay, anybody else? Or any questions? I'm just gonna look in the chat box again. Annemiek, you'll still be away on the next Zoom. When's our next one? The 25th of August. Nope, August. What month are we in now? I'm like, are we in the end of July?
We're in
August. Oh my god. Question: when you do the lining, the one that is gathered in the middle, do you cut the fabric on the bias, or does it really matter? Cut it on the bias. It's mostly with everything with hats. Just have it in your head. It should all be on the bias, and it should all be look as if it's been blown together in the wind, and it should all be as light as a feather. They say. So no stitches, light. Oh, sorry, no, you want stitches, but you just don't want to see them. So you don't really want to use sewing machines either. That's why we tend to hand stitch everything, but always on the bias for that. Oh yes, and then Rebecca says that. Linda says, behind as usual, have my husband just come home from hospital and need caring. Oh, sorry about that. But lovely to see everyone's work and hear useful tips. Thanks, Linda. Rebecca, it will matter as there will be no give in the fabric. That's true. The only times I don't cut on the bias of the fabric is really stretchy, or if it's lycra. That's true. And then don't use lycra for the lining because it's annoying to get your needle through, I find. But have it on the bias. And sometimes I do make the lining slightly bigger than what it should be, because then I can, where the seam is at the back, if I've got a little bit extra, I can fold it over the seam at the back and do the last stitch just across by 1 inch, and then I'm hiding that seam, and it just makes it look like a fold. So, that bit, when you're doing that circumference, you can just make it a little bit larger. Joe says that's wonderful, Noma. Teresa says I love it and the colours work. Yvonne, that's beautiful, Noma. Looks great. Oh, nice comments. I love it, especially like the twist. Everyone's hats are so lovely, Fleur says, and thank you all for the useful tips from Noma.
Can I ask an opinion, please?
Yeah. Okay.
So we're talking about linings, which I have done on my hat, and it's off my shelf. It's in my hand now. So I have done the red satin lining, and I really like it like that. But I should really put a Petersham band in.
Yeah.
But it just looks too crowded, and I don't know whether to put one in or not.
What are you using? You could use red and then you'd be fine, but using a different colour.
Yeah, I haven't got any red, and I actually have got this. Well, it's because it's black and white. I've got this black and white.
Oh,
yeah, and I just thought it'd be. I don't know if you can see it very well.
And I quite like it. I think it just adds that extra sort of theatre underneath.
Do you think so? Because I just thought it looked a bit too big, but it's a standard size that we would use as a band.
Yeah, a thinner one would be better, wouldn't it? Because it wouldn't, and otherwise, it would just sit a little bit better if we had
sort of half the size of that one.
Yeah.
Okay, then I could use. I've probably got white or a black, but I don't think I haven't got anything stripy. But I just thought that because it was a stripy hat, I could put the stripy in, but it was a bit too busy. It sort of took something away from it.
Yeah, true. I suppose because yours it's not all even, is it? And that is even. So
right, that's answered my question.
Exciting, but it is theatrical as well. I quite like it.
I can use that on something else.
Yeah,
so,
maybe just have a black then, or you could use white, but then you get dirty quicker.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But anyway, that was my propeller.
Love it. I want it. We need to do competitions. We need to like an exhibition, show off all these hats.
I think so.
London Hat Week, we should do something, shouldn't we?
Can I ask a question about Petersham, please? Hi.
Hi.
Can I ask a question, Catherine, about Petersham? Hi, it's me again. I've just received some proper Petersham from Petershams actually, and it seems quite soft. Now I've got some that I've had for years, and it's proper Petersham. It's not grey for fashion, and what I've got in the past, it's quite dense and quite heavy, and that the one I've just received from Petershams is quite light and floppy. Is there a grading for Petershams? Am I missing something here?
The one I've always had is
you see Petersham.
I bought there's a better quality Petersham. I haven't looked for a while actually, but a while back it was a black Petersham, and there was a slightly more expensive one that was more. Yeah, that's it, French. And that one's really lovely and soft. So it might be that's what you've done, maybe, because the other ones in comparison
I didn't buy the cheap one.
You did buy the cheap one?
No, I didn't. I bought it was about £2 a metre, so it was like quite an expensive one. It's very soft.
Yeah, and it's really soft. It's really lovely, and now I kind of wish I hadn't discovered it, because it makes all the other ones I've got feel really like synthetic and horrible, So
maybe the cheaper ones have got more nylon in them, because it's always got a little bit in, isn't it? So
yeah.
But the only real hard ones I've felt and seen are ones that are not really Petersham. They're just faking it, and that's not very nice, is it? It's like more like a ribbon.
Yeah.
If you're saying it definitely is Petersham, then yeah,
I bought the French, whatever it's called, more expensive one from there, and it is a lot softer, I noticed. So
Yeah, perhaps it's me.
Easier to sew in.
Yeah, it's nice to feel and it's nice to touch. It just, the comparison of something I bought sort of 20 years ago to just now. I've bought bits before now, but this is a proper job lot I've bought with different colours. And I thought, actually, this is quite nice, but it was just, you hear people say Petersham number 9 or Petersham number 5. I've never really got my head around that, and I don't know why they call it different numbers. But this is probably going back quite a long time. It's, you know, into the annals of time, probably. I don't know.
Well, and being the old woman here, the numbers are the how wide it is.
Oh, right.
Okay, so that has to do with the width and how many lignes it is, lines it is. So 5, 9, 13, that's how wide it is. And having sewn at millinery over 20 years ago, some of the Petersham we had that came out then was stiffer and it had poly in it. It had some polyester in it. And so it is not what you want.
No, okay. I'll put that to one side and use it for something else. Thank you for that, because I thought I was going a bit doolally here. I thought, why is it so different? Thank you.
That answers it.
Well, sorry, Mella, why would we not want the softer one?
No, you want the softer one. You don't want the older one that has that for about 20 years ago, you could only get it with polyester in it in some places, and it won't curve as well, and it's thick. Yeah, you want that soft new stuff, well, and old stuff, real old. So there was just a time when it was hard to get the stuff with cotton or cotton and rayon.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to chip in on this as well, because I had a delivery during the week, and I agree with what James said about the stiffness of the Petersham. So they were my colours, and I've just looked at my invoice as well. The 3 soft ones are French Petersham, and the pink one, which is stiffer, is just the cheaper one. So it's that's what I've got. But if you've ordered the more expensive one, I would have thought it should have been the soft.
It is. It's very soft. It's nice. It's lovely to touch, and it's lovely. I've put some of it in some buttons. I haven't got my light on, so you can't see very well. It goes in beautifully. It sews beautifully. But it was just, I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I've had years and years, and I thought, this is much nicer. Why? Obviously, that's the reason.
Thank you for that. It's really interesting. Good. Just a message here in the chat box. I know what you mean, Hayley. I think go with plain, ideally red. That's from Joe.
I think I'll have to order some. Might be late.
Red, don't we? Somebody else is gorgeous, Hayley. Joe says, think that the mixture of fibres in Petersham is what makes a difference in softness. Some are rayon, some are cotton, some are something different. I think it's a mixture, isn't there? They're cotton mostly, but they've got some rayon in them. Or it's different. So yeah, that's good. Sorry guys, I've got to go. Sorry, Catherine, I've got a call coming. Thank you from Joe. For the qualification bundle, do we need to make the both hat strips and FOSS shape, Catherine? Yes, that would be good. Either you can put it underneath, you can have a go and put it underneath, or make a separate hat with it. Mine I just found was too big in the end, but better to make an extra hat. Nice seeing everyone. You're all inspired, and you've all inspired and motivated me. I have a plumbing issue, so I have to resume phone calls. Have a great weekend. Wanda. Oh, thanks, Wanda. Okay, all right. Well, we've been over an hour, so I must let you all go. But if I put it on gallery a second, we can see all your hats. And if anybody wants to show on for the last minute or ask anything, please wave. You all right? Okay. Ellie, do you want to show something? Oh, Ellie, you're on mute.
It's not finished, but I am pleased with it.
Oh, you've turned your camera off.
Oh,
sorry. put it back to speaker. Hi, I can see you now.
Can't hear her.
Oh, I can't hear you now. I'll ask to unmute you. Oh, yeah.
Can you hear?
Yes. Great.
I've covered lace, and to get the lace the colour that I wanted, I just used tea bags to dye it, and I was really pleased with the end result.
Did you? Interesting.
Yes, it just took that sort of starkness off it. I was happy. I used a clothes steamer, and I'm quite happy with the stiffness. So I'm still to line it, and I haven't finished it anywhere in lockdown, and I need for it. And so anyway, I thought, well, I'll just go this far, and then I'll move on to, I've ordered the Simone to do the strips, so I'll go on with that and come back to this when I can think about how to decorate it.
Yeah. Have you got lace on that one? Is it like a bridal lace?
Yeah, just like a bridal lace. And I didn't put any lining underneath it. I just thought I'll see how the floss shape looks through it. I did put a little satin lining around on the inside, wired. But yes, I was really pleased that it came together so quickly. So I enjoyed that substance.
Good. New one. Thank you for sharing. We look forward to seeing your piece.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
No, it was really well presented. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, it looks lovely. Couple you. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else last minute? Okay, a couple more things and I'll let you go. Everyone's saying thank you. Hope you're still celebrating Catherine from Rebecca. Maybe tomorrow night. Lynn, I have a vintage Petersham from George Well in the 90s, cotton polyester. From Lynn. Great hats, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Any more questions? Enjoy your, I'm going to Devon. Thank you, Joe. Just for 2 days.
Have a lovely time. Have a lovely time.
2 days. I'll be back on Wednesday. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for sharing, and so thank you, everyone. It's been a great
Thank you, everyone. They look amazing.
Yeah, thank you to everyone. You all look fabulous. And I will see you again soon. So I won't see you Monday, but I will see you next week. And we've got on the new bundle coming out soon, and then we'll have a Q&A for that soon as well. All right. Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Catherine.
Holiday.
Bye.
Bye. Be safe. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.